Hi everybody, this is yet another informative video from our channel. In this video we are going to look into the income tax proof submission guidelines and few frequently asked questions. So first, the cutoff date. Check with your HR regarding the cutoff date for the proof submission. And the first proof you are going to see is the house rent receipts. So for house rent receipts, the monthly receipt or receipt for any 1 month of each quarter are considered receipt for the period up to the cutoff date need to be given. And if there is any change in the amount of rent during the year, the receipt for the month in which it has changed and also for any 1 month in subsequent quarter. The rent receipt should be in the name of the employee. So the rent receipt should be issued directly in your name. The rental agreement is not sufficient, or is it not? It is not required. And also the rent receipt should have the landlord signature and the revenue stamp. It should be signed across the revenue stamp, and the name and address of the landlord should be given. And one important thing is, like, if the rent exceeds 1 lakh in that year, then it is mandatory to provide the landlord PAN in the rent receipt. Let's look into a few frequently asked questions. The rent receipt should be in original. The first question is like whether the rent receipt can be a photocopy. It should be given in original with the revenue stamp of it. Can both HRA exemption and also home loan interest benefit can be availed? Yes. If you are staying in a rented house and rent is actually paid by you, and your own house is either let out or is occupied by your parents or relatives, it can be done. Whether rent paid for the house not located in the place of your employment and occupied only by your family members can be claimed for HRA exemption. No, the rent for the house which employee is residing only can be allowed. If you are paying rent for your parents, it cannot be claimed for HRA. Can I submit the rental agreement towards HRA claim instead of the rent receipts? No. As I said earlier, the rental agreement will not be allowed. Only the rent receipt will be allowed. If maintenance charges paid also can be included as rent for HRA exemption. If it is a fixed amount paid month on month and receipt is produced without breakup, can be claimed. Can the signed scanned copy of the rent receipt be submitted for HRA exemption? No. The rent receipt should be original. So these are few important frequently asked questions for the HRA. Let's get into home loan interest and principal repayment made by the employee. So for this, let's look into the guidelines. To submit the details in given format, the interest payment, principal repayment, stamp duty and registration fee paid during the year for house loan can be claimed only if the house property is completed and possessed on or before 31st March 2021. So the possession should be made before claiming the housing loan interest and principal. You can avail the tax benefit for principal and interest on housing loan only if you are the owner of the house property. So as I mentioned, only when the house is possessed by you, you can claim the exemption. Where the house property is owned by you jointly with co-owners, the ratio of ownership should be clearly defined in the sale deed of such house property itself. So if the property is owned jointly, say for example, if an employee is buying a property with a spouse name including, then that should be then the ratio should be mentioned. Interest and principal on housing loan for the property owned jointly with co-owners can be claimed based on the ratio as per the recorded document mentioned above. So as I said, like if there are two owners, then the co-owner should give a declaration stating that this much amount has been claimed by him or her. So the ratio should be mentioned if the property is co-owned. Let's look into a few FAQs. If you own more than one house property, then one house can be shown as self-occupied. Then only one house can be shown as self-occupied. The other house, even though if it is vacant, it has to be shown as it is let out and offer the notional income and the interest on home loan, if any, can be deducted from the same. So if you own more than one property, the other property, even though if it is not let out, it will be deemed as let out, and you should show the rental income. It will be the notional income, like the income which you will be getting if it is let out. House is registered in the name of my wife. Housing loan is in my name. Can I avail the tax benefit on repayment of loan? No, you can avail the benefit only if the property also in your name. So this must be clear. If the property construction completed during the current year, and do you need to submit possession letter? So if the property is completed on a particular year, then the possession letter is mandatory to be provided for that particular year. House is under construction. The possession will take after 31st March 2021. Can the interest be claimed? No. The possession certificate is mandatory during the completion of the year. So only after obtaining the possession certificate, you can avail the housing loan interest and principal. What is the proof to be submitted if the house property is going to be completed after January 2021? Completion certificate can be provided mentioning the probable date of completion after Jan 21, but not later than 31st March 21. So you should provide the completion certificate. Okay. Now let's get into the ATC LIC premium receipts. So the guidelines are as follows. A receipt of premium paid on any insurance policy covering the life. Premium paid before the cutoff date only can be allowed. So whatever the cutoff date is mentioned by the HR, you should verify the cutoff date. So any premium paid before the cutoff date can be availed. Actual premium paid during the financial year alone can be eligible to avail tax benefit. You cannot claim exemption if the premium paid before the year. For example, for financial year 2021, you cannot claim tax benefit if it is paid during March 2020. It should be from April 2020 to March 2021. And let's look into the FAQs quickly. Can I pay the premium for the policy covering my parents and avail tax benefits? No. The premium should be paid for you, your spouse and your children. You cannot claim for your family. The parents. How can I claim the premium dues falling after the cutoff date? You have to mention in the declaration statement given below the IT evidence submission form all the premium amount falling due after the cutoff date of 12th December. They have mentioned some date here, and this will be taken into consideration by attaching previous year's premium paid receipt. Say for example, if you have paid, you have submitted a proof till January. Let's assume your cutoff date is January, and you have submitted the proof till January, and there is one premium payable during February or March. What you can do is you can provide a declaration stating that you will be making the payment for this year, and you can attach the last year receipt. So based on that will be approved. Can I produce only the receipt for the premium paid for the last quarter in the financial year? We suggest yes, but we suggest you to submit all the receipts for payments made during the year. So for a LIC premium, it is better to submit all the premium paid receipts. Can avail tax benefit for the premium dues of previous year during the current financial year. Yes, tax benefit for life insurance is based on payment basis only, and hence you need to submit all the receipts. And let's look into few other ATC exemption. Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana. So the receipt for the amount invested under Sukanya Samriddhi needs to be submitted. So basically it is a Sukanya Samriddhi account passbook. You need to provide the copy of the passbook. Public Provident Fund, ULIP or ELSS. So challan copy of amount invested during the year of the passbook first page and the pages of the entries for the previous year and current year to be submitted. So just like the Sukanya Samriddhi account, if you have the passbook, you have to provide the passbook copies along with the first page of the passbook. And can I get tax benefit from the amount invested in the name of some spouse or children? Yes, you can. Declaration need to be given for availing the amount invested in the name of spouse. Declaration in the sense, like you have to get a declaration stating that your spouse is not claiming the tax benefit, so that you can claim here. Investment in National Savings Scheme. The photocopy of National Savings Scheme certificate should be submitted. Can I get tax benefit for the amount invested in the name of spouse or children? So for this, no, you cannot get a tax benefit if it is in the name, in any other's name. It should be in your name. Children education expenses. So fees receipt of the tuition fee paid alone is allowed for tax benefit. Admission fee or donation paid are not allowed. So for education expenditure, only the tuition fee is allowed as tax exemption. Any other payment like book fee, admission fee, donation fee, and some sports fee, it will not be allowed for tax exemption. Mutual fund investments. Receipt for the amount investment under tax saver mutual fund alone need to be submitted. So for mutual funds, there are schemes which does not have tax benefits. So you have to submit the proof which have the tax benefit. You can verify the document. It will clearly say that this is allowed under ATC exemption. Fixed deposit with bank for 5 years term. Receipt for the investment made during the year need to be submitted. So fixed deposit, it should be under the lock-in period of 5 years, and the deposit receipt will clearly state that it has been exempted under section 80C. Now let's go into section 80D, which is the mediclaim insurance. Medical insurance premium paid receipt to be submitted. Policy covering individual, spouse, children's eligible limit is 25,000. If parents are covered, additional premium limit of rupees 25,000 allowed as reduction. If any parent is senior citizen, 60 years and above, maximum reduction for parent up to 50,000 will be allowed as reduction. So for yourself and your family, your spouse and children, it is 25,000. And if you are paying for your parents, it will be another 25,000, which will be 50,000 total. And if your parents are senior citizen, then it will be 50,000 plus 25,000 for you. It will be 75,000. Deduction under section 80BD. This is expenditure towards medical maintenance and treatment of handicapped dependent. So 75,000 in case of normal disability, which is more than 40%, and 1,25,000 in case of severe disability. That is the disability percentage should be more than 80%. Certificate issued in the prescribed format by the medical authority notified by the government to be submitted as per the format in Annex 6. So it should be in a prescribed format and should be properly signed by the medical authority, and this is issued by the government. Deduction under section 80E. So interest paid during the financial year on education loan from bank and financial institutions, certificate to be submitted. So for this, the loan availed for self, spouse and children can be availed, but the loan should be in the name of employee. So under section 80, only the interest part will be exempted. Deduction under section 80U. Self-handicapped employees alone can claim under this section. So if the employee, the person who is availing tax benefit is himself has been disabled, then this exemption is allowed. And again, for 40% above 40% and below 80%, it is 75,000. And the severe disability cases like above 80%, it is 1,25,000. This should also be supported by the certificate issued by the government. Deduction under section 80 TDB. Expenditure incurred on medical treatment for specified disease or dependent or self. Deduction allowable up to rupees 40,000. And if he or she is a senior citizen, deduction allowable up to 1 lakh. And even for this, the certificate is required. Deduction under section 80 TTA. Interest received on savings bank account alone is eligible for this deduction, and limit is 10,000. And only savings account interest will be eligible for this exemption. Any interest received from fixed deposit, term deposit or recurring deposit will not be eligible. Then the last one is 80CCD1B. Receipt for the amount invested under additional contribution towards pension need to be submitted. Additional tax benefit of rupees 50,000 will be given under section on financial year 2021. So these are a few important sections and the guidelines for submitting the proof. If you have any doubts or if you have any suggestions, you can let us know through the comment section. Thank you.